Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good evening, Eco TV listeners, both at home and abroad, wherever you may be. We extend our greetings to you. My name is Larry Sise. I'm back with my colleague Lamin Mane for our usual Thursday podcast on the Gambia we want. Today we are going to deal with 4 issues, but they are all interconnected. Issue number 1 would be the president's foundation laying spree all over the country, because it's all over the country. He's laying foundation stones everywhere. And then the second one will be about the president boasting that the roads we, the opposition, are using were his roads, he built them. The electricity we use is his electricity. The water we use is his water. I think you see a pattern there where the president is personalizing national development for self-aggrandizement. The president had a particularly interesting meeting in a place called Malikunda. Malikunda is in the Nyamina West area. It's a predominantly Fula Mandinka settlement, but he made some very interesting comments there regarding how APRC was fooling voters into voting for them by creating fake projects. That's what caught our attention in terms of saying we need to follow the president for all of his last week activities in order to fact check him on some of these issues that he has said. And then we will give you a very brief but succinct synopsis of the coalition talks where they are, based on the official release from the coordinating committee. Lamina, I think those are the 4 issues that we need to deal with in today's program.
That's correct. And I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all our viewers around the world. And as usual, it's a pleasure to be here to have this chat with you. And thank you for welcoming us into your homes again. Thank you, Larry.
Good. Lamin, I think I have highlighted the issues. I took some notes. And they are very meticulous notes capturing everything the president is saying. So I will revert to my little black book here and then update the viewers on this issue.
Even though sometimes it's so tiring to listen to him and what he says, but unfortunately we have to, because we have to be able to debunk some of the things they say.
Yeah, if you don't listen to him, what he says, whether it's factual or not, becomes reality.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's important to fact check him on these issues. The president was in Nyamina. You recall UDP had a meeting in Batinjol.
Yeah.
We also had a meeting in Mamfana and Kermale.
Yeah.
We talked about the poor condition of the roads there, the lack of health care, lack of schools, and water. Well, he went to Nyamina East. He has laid the foundation stone for all the roads connecting Bati, Mount Fana, and how do you call it? This Malikunda. He has laid roads. Some of those roads, when you connect all those 5, 6, 7 clusters of villages, the road network is about 8.75 kilometers. But what was interesting about the president's statements there are 3 things. One, he says the APRC was faking. He used the word faking was faking voters by engaging in fake projects. He also said that the roads that the opposition is using were his roads. He built them. The electricity we use, the water we use, and the schools our kids use were his schools. He built them. I think that is personalizing national development. The third one that struck me the most was his swipe at the opposition by saying in 2016, the opposition had nothing. And he came along and he delivered the country from dictatorship. And he says now, because he did that and he introduced democracy, you have opposition, you have parties that are briefcase parties, that are social media parties, who are just going around criticizing him. But if it were not for him, the space would not be there to criticize. The fourth one is the president personalizing our development. This is not Barrow's roads. These are not electricity facilities that he provides, or schools or water. These are from taxpayers' money and or grants from development partners.
And loans.
Yes. This particular road network that he's building, we have the list of all the donors that put money in there. You have the World Bank, the IMF, the European Union, the usual
The
African Development Bank, the usual multilateral and bilateral institutions that would give us loans and budget support. They are the ones who are financing these roads. Whether President Barrow is president or not, these roads would have been built. For me, the biggest question that I have is, in all this, especially in Nyamina, Nyamina has been left behind in terms of our development from the First Republic. The roads that Jawara built are still the roads that we are using. And that in itself is a testament to what Jawara was doing. Yahya Jammeh did not improve on that. He comes 10 years in power. He is now telling people, I'm the one who is going to build these roads. He didn't even build them. I'm the one who is going to build these roads. Now, where was President Barrow 10 years ago? Why didn't he build these roads 10 years ago? You see, with President Barrow, whatever he accuses the opposition of is exactly what he is doing.
Exactly.
He says the opposition are going to marabouts to prevent him from building his roads. I mean, how parochial can a president be? If you can think like that and even verbalize it in a public meeting, to say they don't want these roads to happen, and so they're going to the marabouts to make it not happen. But we all know President Barrow is the one who is a marabout individual. He goes to marabouts, he goes to graveyards and lifts dead bodies to put jujus under their heads and stuff.
Exactly.
So this is a president that accuses, when he accuses you of something, that's exactly what he's been doing.
It's the projection in what he's doing.
Yes, he's projecting.
What he's doing, he projects it onto other people. This is so unfortunate. At a time when you want a Cartesian president, a rational president, all he's thinking of is this mysticism and all that goes with it. This is the man who told us that he sacrificed his son.
Yeah.
This is the man who told us that he went to graveyards to unearth, disturb the dead, and put jujus in under their head or in their mouth, whatever it was. This is a major offense under the law.
Yeah.
It's
a desecration.
The graveyards are supposed to be sanctified, more or less, in our traditions, in
sacred.
our culture, in our religion. And under the law, it's desecration of tombs. It's an offense. But this gentleman has no qualms telling us that I desecrated tombs to be able to indulge in my mystic,
behavior.
undertakings. And because he does that, he believes that everybody is doing the same thing. So the projection is that he projects onto the people what he does. But it just speaks volumes about his character and who he is.
Yeah.
This is the person who has absolutely no idea how to run a modern state, how to bring development to the country. All he thinks of is the mysticism that he is totally drowning in. We want a rational Cartesian president who is going to bring development. Your religion and your beliefs are yours.
They are personal.
We respect that. But we want you to run the country on rational principles of modernity. That's what we want from you. Spare us your mysticism. Spare us your oh gosh, it's so tiring, this man.
Yes, but you know what? The president, as you correctly said, is projecting his own behavior onto his opponents.
That's right.
What the things that he's doing, going to the marabouts, making fake promises. Those are all part of his repertoire of misleading voters. But I think Gambian voters have transcended that.
Yeah.
They see right through him. Because for the people of Nyamina, the question that I got from all the chat groups that I am in, basically what they are saying is, but it took the president 10 years to even come and lay the foundation stone here. Is laying the foundation stone a guarantee that the roads are going to be built, or was he just on the eve of an election laying the foundation stone so we can vote for him? Because he verbalized it. He says, if you don't vote for me, these roads will not be built.
Yeah. As if those roads are being built from his personal resources.
Exactly.
These roads are built from the taxpayer dollars of Gambians. The loans and grants he contracts in our name, and which we are going to have to pay back, and which are poorly used for that matter. When you take so much money to build very short stretches of road at extremely high cost and at very poor quality, and we are going to have to bear those liabilities and carry on with them, and you tell us that you're doing this. You're not doing this. The Gambian people are paying for this from their tax dollars and from the loans and grants you contract in our name. You see, this man has to understand that the Gambia is not his personal thing.
But he considers it his personal thing.
We heard that from Jammeh here before.
Yep.
Reumi Marco Mom.
Yep.
That's what he used to say.
Yep.
Nobody owns this country except the Gambians. So you are a steward. We employed you to run this country, and you are there to run this country for the Gambians. You don't own this country. And that's what he has to understand. And that's what we've been trying to make him understand for years. But it's so difficult to teach him anything.
You know, the other day when I listened to Barrow talking like this, APRC is faking you with fake projects so you can vote for him. He's laying foundation stones and telling them, if you don't vote for me, these roads will not be, roads will not be built. Accusing his opponents of tribalism when he is the quintessential tribalist. His party is the quintessential tribalist party. They verbalize all of these things. But like you say, he's projecting what he's doing to his opponents. Yeah. I want to move on to say, President Barrow does not understand how statecraft works. Because if he understands how statecraft works, or he understands it and is refusing to play the game based on statecraft procedures, he shouldn't be going out there telling people, I am laying the foundation road here, if you don't vote for me, it won't happen again. People should roll back their minds to 2017. The promises that President Barrow made to Gambians. I'm going to be president for 3 years, transitional. I will do reforms, and I will step down. 3 years came along. The famous 3 years Jotna. 3 years came along. He says, oh no, I am not going to step down. I'll be there for 5 years.
And if you do remember, during those promises, he said, I'm going only for 3 years because, you know, power is not my thing.
Yes.
I'm a businessman and I'm a very contented person. And I don't have knowledge to run a state. But I'll get some good people to help me during those 3 years. That's what he said.
That's what he said, yes. And
he
didn't
keep the opposite.
Yeah. He didn't keep his word.
He's never kept his word.
3 years came to 5 years. 5 years came to 10 years. Now he's making 10 years go to 15 years.
So even talking of 30 years.
Yes. So Barrow is all about power and the trappings of power. He's not interested in statecraft and his responsibility in that statecraft.
And personal power.
Yes, personal power. Yeah. The third promise he failed Gambians is the constitution. Gambians wanted a constitution that liberates us mentally, physically, economically, that empowers us and leaves nobody behind, for the country to move ahead. State institutions. It's his party that voted whole scale against that constitution. Yeah. All of UDP's National Assembly members then voted for that constitution to pass. When that constitution failed in the National Assembly, there was a party at State House. They celebrated to say we killed it. Yeah. And they killed it because of the personal ambition and caprices of the president.
Yet this is the president who set up the Constitutional Review Commission.
Yeah.
He appointed all the members. Only the deputy chair was appointed by the Chief Justice. But he appointed the Chief Justice. So in effect, he appointed everybody
them
who sat on that Constitutional Commission. He is the one who authorized, signed the spending of $112 million on that exercise.
Yeah.
After all the promises he made, but he just turned around and killed it on arrival and went out to celebrate.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes about his character.
He doesn't keep his words. And that's where I want us to head to say, this promise of laying the foundations for all these roads. Yes, it's cheaper to lay a foundation stone than to build a road. I'm telling Gambians, if they roll back on his inability to keep his word, to keep his promise, they shouldn't believe anything he tells them about foundation laying on those roads. The other issue that I want to highlight is that Barrow, he says in one of the Nyamina meetings, he says, why is the opposition wanting to go into a coalition? They shouldn't go into a coalition. They should all go and contest individually, and I will beat them. This man forgot that it was a coalition that brought him to power. It was a coalition that kept him into power. His coalition with APRC, it's still on. It's a coalition government between him, APRC, NRP, and all of that.
Party's party, GMC.
Yeah, I don't even name some of those things. Yeah. He is presiding over a coalition government and telling us, why are you doing a coalition? Let's compete alone. It shows the level of desperation this guy is demonstrating.
Yeah.
And Mr. President, let me tell you something. We are going to form a coalition, and we are going to defeat you mercilessly on December 5th. This is your worst nightmare, and this is why you are fighting tooth and nail. I'll even say, maybe knowing you and your Marabu thing, you are going to the Marabus to stop us from making a coalition. It's not far-fetched. But whatever you do, we are going to have a coalition, inshallah. Coalition will be there.
The coalition not only will be there, but he will be defeated very, very clearly on the 5th of December 2026. Because the Gambians have had it with this man. And all of this posturing and pandering is because he knows what awaits him if he fails to stay in power. Yeah. And this is why it's important to do the right thing when you're in power. Because you can step down without any difficulties. You can step down without worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow. Excuse me for a second.
step down with dignity.
With dignity
and
and
respect.
not worry about what's going to happen to you. Because he and his party and his cronies have been involved in so much mismanagement of this economy and all the things that we see happening in this country, from the economic side, from the selling of our assets and all our structures, from the refusal to invest in NAWEC to generate electricity for the country, in his refusal to bring up the health structures to standard, etc., and him and his cronies allocating our state lands to themselves just as they wish.
To themselves and their cronies.
Including himself taking over the house designated and assigned to the Chief Justice, taking it over for himself. That is a fundamental breach of the law. State resources, particularly state property like that, cannot be assigned to anybody else. And our laws say that if you have one property in your name, the state can allocate another piece of property to you.
To you.
And he told us he has 9 properties. But he still goes ahead and tries to get the state to allocate the residence of the Chief Justice to him. And he did it with his then Minister of Lands, I think he's still the same actually, Ahmad Ba,
yeah.
And they allocated the place to him, and he took it over and then ran with it. And now he's building a massive structure there, and we want to know where the resources for building that structure are coming from. Because we know how much he earns per annum. Over the 10 years of his presidency, his salary is $60 million over the 10 years if he saves every butut of that salary.
If he doesn't spend a dime.
And he doesn't need to, because we give him everything free of charge. Yeah. So if he wishes, he can save the $60 million all by himself and keep it there. But there is no way that can build the house he's building on our property or the Chief Justice's residence. That residence is worth over $1.5 billion. Where did he get the money from? Where did he get the money to buy all the properties he bought? Where did he get the money to do all the things he's doing in the country? So that's why he's scared stiff.
To lose the election.
Yes.
Yeah. It's scary.
Since I understand he said that he'd rather die than lose the elections.
He said that also. That's what I was underlining here.
Okay. I mean, if this gentleman says, I'd rather die than lose the elections, that means he has done a lot of horrible things.
Yeah.
Because why should elections be worth your life? That's supposed to be life after presidency.
Yeah.
But no. All the things they did, that's what's making them scared stiff. But you're going to have to account for those, Mr. President, because accountability is part of our democratic dispensation. And you will have to account for what you did. We keep telling you, do the right thing. So when you step down, you can step down with dignity and be treated as a former head of state and have all the honors and dignities and respect that goes with that. And the protocol and everything will be there for you. Do that. But if you follow the people who are advising you to do the thing you're doing, and you also want to do it, because if you don't want to do it, they could advise you, but you won't do it. So if you're doing it, it's because you want to do it, and those people are encouraging you to do something that you want to do in the first place. So you're doing that. And now, when it comes time to step down, you're scared. But you'll have to step down, because these elections, you're going to lose. You're going to lose massively. We're going to see to that, and the government people are going to see to that. So I think it's best for you to prepare. Maybe apparently you might have bought something in Morocco near your brother's house, Maki. Maybe you should prepare to go there. Because Fajara, you won't go to Fajara. We'll take that from you. Fajara is our property, which you confiscated. You usurped the powers related to that and you took that property for yourself. No, we're not going to leave you with that. We're going to take it over.
And Lamin, the way he framed that statement, he says, I'm quoting him, the NPP will prefer death to shame in the December elections. In Mandinka, when it was translated, Sayale Fisanye Boyoti.
Yeah.
So he says the NPP, meaning he's not just talking about himself.
Yeah.
He's
It's a
talking
whole
about
system.
him and his system.
It's a whole system that's involved in this.
And it speaks volumes, because this is why I follow the president. This is why I listen to him very closely, because some of the things that they are saying on the radar are the ones he says very publicly.
Exactly.
So these were his exact words.
But Larry, it can't be otherwise, because when you are that involved in wrongdoing, you tend to fear even your shadow.
Yeah.
You think that everybody's seeing what you do, and indeed we are. We are. You see, just a quick summary. NAWEC has received over $400 million to develop
our electricity
supply, and we are worse off than the time when he came to power.
Yeah.
Our water sector is in the doldrums. All our state assets are being sold off, mortgaged, and concessioned. So no income is coming from those areas. The financial sector is a mess, because we are owing today over $150 billion in
debt.
loans to the country and the outside world, domestic and external debt. Our debt repayment for this year has been put at $13 billion. And it will be more than that, because just by the mechanical effect of the depreciation of the dollar, we will pay at least $14 billion by the end of the year.
Minimum.
You look at what is happening around the airport. Nero taking over and destroying our airport and the Gambia International Airways. Our port being concession to Alberac for 30 years. The airport is on the way to go. Larry, whichever sector you look at,
the bridge is gone.
The bridge is gone for 25 years for $100 million.
Gamtel is gone.
Exactly. Gamtel losing money when QCell, Comium, Africell are all making money. When Gamtel owns the infrastructure, but they are losing money.
Yeah.
Why?
And he still has that gateway project.
At the presidency?
At the presidency.
It's
still there.
Okay, there you go.
So you suffocate an agency.
So you do all of that, and you appoint a plethora of people into commissions, which you are paid to, and you are paying through our nose for those commissions. Each of those commissions, each commissioner in this country is earning minimum $120,000 per month.
Per month.
Minimum. And they got all sorts of perks, vehicles, offices, staff, and all. So they are being paid very handsomely to do what? That is what
and have all been given expensive four-wheel drive vehicles.
Exactly. Security, telephone bills, etc., what have you. Everything, office premises, staff. To deliver nothing, just like his government is delivering nothing.
Yeah.
Why?
And you are leaving out the agriculture sector.
I was coming to that. I was coming to that because I was going to starting with the $50 million they took to develop the agricultural sector, and they gave it to one person, Amiduja. When we all complained, they said, well, they're paying it back. But they had that money for about 6 months at least.
Yeah. Sitting in some
even
account.
if you put that in an account on a fixed time deposit for 6 months, the amount of money you've made from that is in the millions of dollars already. So that shouldn't have happened, and shouldn't have returned that money. It should have been given to Gambian farmers, on lend to them, to be able to do things. You have smallholder farmers. You have the champion farmers. You can give everybody according to their needs and help the Gambia grow. They gave $200 million from the central bank
to 10 companies.
To 10 companies, say, to bring down the cost of food items. It didn't happen. Larry, it's a litany of woes with this government.
Yeah.
All of those things happened under his watch. Yeah. Not to talk of all the amounts that have been disappearing from the ministries, from the president's office, from the judiciary, everywhere.
As reported in the audit
reports. So naturally, he's scared to go. Naturally, he thinks it's preferable for him to die than to lose the elections.
The final thing, and then we go into the local languages, is that he says the opposition wants conflict so that the elections can be postponed.
Projection again.
Now, he's projecting. It's him who wants the election
conflict. He was conflict.
Conflict so that the election. You remember I kept saying Barrow had three strategies. Buy the elections, that is failing.
Steal the elections.
Steal the elections, that too is failing. Create conflict so that he can postpone the elections. That's where we are now. And that's what he's projecting. And that's why he's saying the opposition wants conflict so that the elections can be postponed. Mr. President, the opposition does not want conflict of any kind.
Exactly.
We want clean, fair, transparent elections which is conducted and voted by Gambians. We do not want conflict. You and your people, it's shown everywhere on social media, you're bringing people in to register to vote, ineligible voters. We want to let you know that it is you who wants conflict by bringing ineligible voters to register to vote. Sidinjai has been going around the police stations giving instructions for people to be not bothered when they try to do those kinds of things. You have Dembasabali saying this election is
will spill blood to
keep Barrow in power. Ahmad Ba saying election will kala ñu jaral pour ñu gagner ko. Now, it's your people who are fomenting conflict.
But to add to that, Larry, you remember, we even had to organize a press conference on that. That's why it started when Sidinjai came out and said that the UDP has recruited militia, armed them to harass people. So that is again saying the opposition is trying to foment conflict. That's what they've been up to. This is, it's going crescendo. They're building upon that, trying to condition us to believe that conflict is coming, it's inevitable. Well, Mr. President, we have news for you. There won't be conflict here because we are not fighting with you. Not physically, we are fighting you at the ballot box. We want to win these elections free, fair, and transparently. And we're going to do that. We're not fighting you. We're not fighting you outside the electoral process. We're not fighting you outside the ballot boxes. Yes, we resist when you try to register people who are not entitled to be registered, because you have been doing everything you can to subvert the elections even before they started. You and your people are the one trying to register minors of 12, 13 years. You have been trying to register foreigners in this country, and your people are trying to sell the voters card to those people and telling them, go register. When you register, I'll get you your national documents. All of that is happening. We saw it. And we took people to the police station who confessed these things. A gentleman in Farato who was caught and taken to the police station said, well, somebody told me I have to go to get this, and he gave me the attestation so that I can get the voter's card. When I get the voter's cards, he will get me national identity papers, and I've paid for it already. All of those things are happening within the NPP. Okay, so these are the things. They are trying to foment crisis in this country so that they know they're going to lose and they can try it. We saw the Guinea-Bissau scenario. When his brother and friend Mbalo lost in Guinea-Bissau, he fomented a coup d'etat, handed the power to his friends, and he left. President Barrow, the Gambians won't fall for that. You are not organizing a coup d'etat in this country. You are not handing the power over to the military. The military is Republican. The soldiers in the Gambia have learned from the past experiences, and they are going to protect democracy in this country. And we are all going to see to that. So you better think of other ways. Think of running a free, fair, and transparent election, talking to the Gambians, eligible Gambians, not minors in the Gambia, not foreigners. The Gambians are the ones who elected you in 2016, and it's their results you chose to steal in 2021. And 2021, they're going to kick you out of office. So be prepared for that. What's going to happen? You can't do nothing about that. Okay? So this is what we're saying. So Larry, to conclude on that, when he said that the opposition is penniless, and was penniless in 2016, he delivered this country from the dictatorship. Nothing could be further from the truth.
He brought democracy.
Nothing could be further from the truth. This was the man who, by all accounts, when the Jammeh regime came to Dabo's house after they arrested Dabo, He ran and went under a table. Under a table. Jukuna and others were there.
The women are there to witness it. Yeah.
They witnessed, and the women stood at the door to protect him under the table. He ran. Women stood for him, not him standing for the women. He fled and went to hide under a table. And this is the guy who, when Sidinja threatened him, he fled the country to Mali.
Yeah.
Sidinja, of all people, threatened him, and he fled the country. He went to Mali. And today he can beat his chest and pretend to be the guy who killed the lion or whatever he calls it.
He's the lion killer.
This is the man who was broke, and his finance was in disorder. He couldn't even pay for hiring vehicles for his campaign.
Even his clothing.
When he managed to put a little bit of money that he has to be repaid immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
He was broke. He had nothing. And today he pretends he was rich and he saved it. From what? From who? Where did he get that money from? You were penniless. You were just renting houses for people who had properties to let. And you were selling properties for people who had properties to sell. That's why they call it 20 by 20. That's what they were called. And everybody knows that in the Gambia, you are selling lands for people who had land to sell. You are letting houses for people who had houses to let, and you are merciless with the tenants in those houses. Everybody knows that about you. And today you pretend that we are wealthy before. Come on, give us a break. We are all here in the Gambia. So you didn't have money in this country to deliver the opposition from financial crisis. The opposition financed your campaign. And when you won, you kicked them in the teeth. That is what we call betrayal. So please, don't try to rewrite history. We all know it. Thanks, Larry.
Finally, in Malikunda, one thing he said which also stood out, and I'm quoting him again. He says, if they promise you cooking pots, call me. I can give you more than them. If they promise you cooking pots, call me. I can give you more than them. So for the president, it's all about cooking pots. It's all about football jerseys. The opposition, though, we don't give cooking pots as an incentive for communities to vote for us. That is, you introduced that into our electoral process in 2021, and it's still going on.
All the guys seem to think about is eating and food.
Yes, yes. You know? But Barakundan Kolam, he's obsessed with food.
Yes.
Yes. So for him, if they promise you cooking pots, just call me. I will give you more cooking pots than them.
No, we promise development, not cooking pots.
Yes, we promise development, not cooking pots. But the president should understand that when you give people empty cooking pots, they have to put something in those cooking pots to eat.
Yeah.
They need to find a way to put something in those cooking pots.
Exactly.
This is what UDP, this is what we are about. We say, don't rely on politicians to give you cooking pots. Rely on politicians to bring development so you can make money, buy your own cooking pot, and buy the food that is necessary to cook in those cooking pots.
Exactly.
This is what we want. And that is the stark difference between us and this president.
Yeah.
For him, cooking pots are enough. Jerseys are enough. Football paraphernalia are enough. Not development. Finally, on this Malikunda meeting, let us show the president that our country's development goes beyond cooking pots. It goes beyond him bragging to saying, I'm the one who is bringing you roads, electricity, water. What the president needs to understand is that those people he's been talking to in Malikunda, in Batinjol, and in all the other communities that he's been laying foundation stones to, they go to bed hungry. There is not enough water there. Their school system has collapsed. 3 years running, he hasn't increased the price of groundnuts for our groundnut farmers. This is what people are suffering with. And then whatever small money they make, they spend it all on their cost of living. There is a cost of living crisis in this country. As we are saying, we keep saying, he gave $200 million to 10 companies, ostensibly for them to bring in foodstuffs and reduce the prices of foodstuffs.
And as usual, they under-declared it. They say 100 million when it was 200 million.
They said 100 million when it was 200 million. That has to come out. But 10 companies giving that money. And if you look at the ownerships of those companies, they are all connected somehow.
To the corridors of power.
To the corridors of power.
Yeah.
And giving them those $20 million did not bring the prices of food commodities down.
If anything, they went up.
If anything, they went up. The prices of those commodities kept increasing exponentially. And we are facing the same thing at the gas pump for those of us who have cars.
Exactly.
Two or 3 weeks ago, the Ministry of Petroleum came out with an announcement to say we are rolling back some taxes so that the price of petrol can be reduced to about $75 per liter. That hasn't happened yet. I asked around and I'm told, they are saying at the end of the month. But countries that are serious and want to cushion people from the effects of this America-Iran-Israel war, they roll back the prices of petrol instantly, and it becomes effective. Now, what this tells me, or tells us, is that the waiting period between the time the activity was announced and the time it was supposed to take place is the period for them to make money. And once that money is made, we are all cut and dry. He can beat his chest and say, I reduced the price of fuel for you. And that's how they framed it. They say he's so concerned about our cost of living, he's going to cancel X number of taxes at the pump so that the price of fuel can decrease from its current levels to about $75 per liter. It hasn't happened yet.
And you know,
and people are hungry.
Concerning that, I'm a doubting Thomas.
No.
I'm a doubting Thomas because I will believe that once I see it happen. What I think is that they hope that the Iran-US-Israel war would end sometime weeks ago, and that things can get back to normal, so the price of fuel can come down, and then they can say, oh, we brought the price of fuel down. Before the war, the price of fuel was $84
per liter
of petrol. And they raised it $112. It's not going to come down anytime soon. It's not going to happen. Sorry. You see, countries that are serious about that, as you say, take the case of Senegal. The price of fuel in next door Senegal has not increased.
Yeah.
Because they had already prepared for this sort of crisis. And what we keep saying, governing is planning for the future. They have not planned for the future. And there is nothing in what they are doing currently to indicate that they are planning for the future to make it possible for them to reduce the cost of fuel. And in fact, the cost of fuel shouldn't have increased immediately. Because from all what they were saying, they had 3 months stock of fuel. And that stock was bought at the old price.
Yeah.
So why was the price increased now? If the new supplies come in and increase the price, that can be understandable. But you have a 3-month buffer, as you said. If that's true, the increase should have kicked in 2-3 months down the line.
But Lamin,
not immediately.
Even on the buffer issue, at first they said they didn't have a buffer.
Oh, okay.
Then when there was a bunch of public outcry on social media, they came out and said we have a buffer stock of about 90 days.
Yeah.
And that's what we are faced with.
So if you have a buffer stock of 90 days and the war is now 3 months old,
yeah.
Now the fuel that's coming in now, which you ordered probably 2-3 months back, that going up can even be understood, but not the old stock. Yeah. You're making money on that. That is just having a windfall for the oil marketing corporations and for the state. that stock was ordered at the old price, so it's instead at the new price. But coming back quickly to what he said about the cooking pots and the like, it shows the amount of respect this man has for the Gambians.
For Gambians, yes.
Because if he thinks that all our concern is cooking pots and food, that we will beg from him, that he will give us from the bottom of his heart because he's kind.
He's such a benevolent.
Exactly. If he thinks that's the way to run this country, then he hasn't understood what's happening in the Gambia. He still hasn't understood it. Look, the Gambians voted for him in 2016 for change and for qualitative change, to allow us all to fend for ourselves, not to be at the mercy of the state. What they are doing is impoverishing the Gambians. I keep saying this, we keep saying this, the Gambia is not poor. It has been impoverished by these people, so they keep us always at their mercy.
Yeah.
You impoverish people to a point where their daily survival becomes an issue, and then you give handouts to them, and they follow you like sheep. Well, for your information, we are not sheep, and we can think for ourselves. We know what is good for us, and we know how to try to achieve what we want to achieve. So that is not going to fly. One. Two, if all you're thinking about for the Gambian is how do I buy them during the electoral period, and then after the period I can do what I like, because he said that. He said, during electoral periods, you can promise whatever you want.
Yeah, and then do whatever you want.
And when you win, you do whatever you like. And we've seen him do that in 2021. We've seen him do it in 2016. So now we're not going to allow that to happen again. Once bitten, twice shy.
Wow.
So that's where we are. So all of these empty promises, all of these projects that are springing up now, the stone laying, which is starting again, because elections are around the corner, so you can promise what you want, and once they're over, you do what you want, we won't fall for it. Because we know that those road construction projects essentially benefit the corrupt people in your government. That's why it goes. That money doesn't go all into road construction. A small proportion goes into it. And you are enriching the people around. Remember, this is the guy who gave part of a contract for the OIC roads to his cook.
To his cook, yeah.
To his cook, for God's sake. And for those who don't know, the cook is even called Mr. Fati.
Yeah.
So you remember him.
And it's from Brikamaba.
Okay.
Building a mansion.
A road construction project to your cook. And that was on the Madiana Willinkama section of the road. So basically, he's trying to enrich everybody around him with these fake contracts, as he calls the fake projects for APRC.
APRC.
He is involved in those fake contracts and enriching the people around himself. This is what is happening in the country. And this is what we are denouncing every day, because we are going to pay for those loans and those things you distribute to your cronies. We are going to pay for that. And our children, our grandchildren are going to pay for that. So this is where we are as a country. This is why we want you out. This is why the Gambians want you out. And we're going to get you out on the 5th of December. You better start packing. I hope for you, by the way, that you can finish the mansion on Atlantic Road, so at least you can sleep maybe a couple of days or weeks there before you get removed from there.
That's what he's doing.
I hope so for him, at least. You'll have at least the pleasure of sleeping there for a few weeks.
They are working around the clock.
They should. So he can enjoy it, and then he will remember. And when he goes, he will regret what he's missed. Because you build that with our money, money stolen from the Gambia, and which is why we said anytime a president leaves, him and his ministers should account for the wealth they have, and they said no.
Yeah. No accountability.
That was what the Constitution of 2020. That's what was in the Constitution. When you leave, you account for how you got your money. He would have had to tell us how he got the money to build that mansion, how he got the 200 million into his account, how he built the 9 houses that he built when he became president. But there we are. You won't do it because you killed the Constitution. We'll bring it back, and we'll still make you account for that.
It will be very interesting, Lavin, to conclude. It will be very interesting to be introspective about President Barrow's source of wealth.
Yeah.
in 2021, when he made his declaration at the IEC, he said he had $200 million in his account.
Yeah.
And he had about, what, 7 or 9 properties?
9 houses.
9 houses. President Barrow, when you became president, you didn't have anything. How did you get 200 million in your account?
Yeah, we need to know.
How did you get nine houses? So what would be interesting is his declaration of assets for 2026. I am so interested in that. If it is done properly, transparently, it will be over $1 billion.
But he probably will reduce it now that he
because we are talking about
watching it. And we are talking about it. But probably will reduce the amount.
But also giving IEC false information is against the law.
Exactly.
He should declare exactly what his asset base is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, at some point, he could be held accountable for lying to the IEC on the declaration of his assets.
Yes. Because if he declares less than 1.5 billion, we'll ask him how he is building the Fajara mansion.
Exactly. And in dollar terms.
Yeah. How are you building that? Where's the money coming from? So I don't think he will be able to declare less than 1.5 to $2 billion in his account. Because otherwise, he'll have to explain to us where he got the money to build that mansion.
For somebody who was hiding under the table,
yeah.
For somebody who bought some nice clothes because he didn't have any, if you look at all his old pictures,
well,
going to 2015-16,
yep. And it's the people in the coalition
who bought those clothes
who
for
changed
him.
his wardrobe.
Yeah.
They thought that what he was wearing was unseemly for a president, and they thought he's got to leave the role.
You know what is so annoying about President Barrow?
Mm-hmm.
As you were saying, it is UDP. Mm-hmm. To the best of my knowledge, UDP was the only party that put money together to change his wardrobe.
Yeah, and we know the people.
And we know the people.
We wouldn't say them for the moment, but we know the people.
We know the people, and we know the people who organized for those things to be sown for him.
Yep. Exactly.
And in one instance, they were sown for him and taken to him to Farafenni. He crossed Bara. People look at the fanti he is wearing and basically said, no. This cannot be presented to people like this. Yes. I remember Ajiyam Seka saying, no, li jaduut. Ki fimne kan den ko wara solal.
Yeah.
And she got on the phone and was calling people to contribute money.
Yeah.
And she made sure those things were sown and delivered to Barrow between Bara and Farafenni.
Yeah. See, that's why it's so disheartening. And these are the people that today he takes as his enemies and he's fighting. These were the people, Ajiyam Sek, Ajiyam Mundawiyabwa. These were the two ladies who used to sandwich him in the back of the car. The guy was scared stiff of Jammeh. Today he's pretending to be the brave guy. He was scared stiff of Jammeh. Ajiyam Mundawiyabwa and Ajiyam Sek used to sandwich him at the back of the car to protect him. Can you imagine? They used to protect him. They used to sandwich him there. He was scared stiff of Jammeh. You remember he's the guy who said when he shook hands with Jammeh, he said, my system was blocked. All my system was blocked. Whatever that means for him, you know.
No, he's talking Marabu again.
Yeah, exactly.
This president believes in that.
Jammeh is mystic.
Yeah.
So he shook Jammeh's hand and the mysticism got to him and he was totally, you know.
Anyway, I think we should stop there. People got the gist. Let's insist President Barrow to bring development that would make us share the national cake equally, be able to empower us, every citizen, to be able to feed him or herself for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, to be able to go to the hospital being attended to without incurring devastating financial burdens, and to go to the agriculture sector and pay farmers the right prices that are due to them, rather than telling us to depend on his cooking pots. And those cooking pots are empty, just as our stomachs are empty going to bed. President Barrow, you have a problem this December because people are determined to defeat you.
Yeah.
Everywhere in the country, people want change. And people are saying you are the cause of their misery.
Yeah, and he is.
So, and you should take responsibility for that.
And Larry, I'm happy you said those things because you are virtually giving to him what we will do in our 5-point agenda.
Yes.
That's what you're giving him.
Yes.
We will educate the youth, provide for them the training, skills, and academic. We will get them employment. If we can't secure employment for all of them, and we won't be able to do for all of them, we'll give them a livelihood. We'll give them loans to start their own businesses and start prospering. We will make that funding available to them. So the skills development and training for the youth, the employment for the youth, we will ensure that. We will make sure that the agricultural sector performs, where we can become food sovereign, food independent, and we can export, process the food here, consume what we can here, the rest we export and make money from it. We have a base for industrialization from the agricultural sector. We will make sure that our health sector develops so that we have enough to treat our people properly.
Yeah.
We will develop the IT sector and the infrastructure sector. These are the 5-point agenda. This is what we're going to do. These are the low-hanging fruits. We'll start within the first 100 days.
Yeah.
But we will discuss another time. Let's go get into local languages.
Yes, let's do the local languages. In fact, studio is alerting us that we are going over time.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum badinglu. Ntelam Larry Sise. Mbal kontona albe dunia daoda al tolna al kontonla. Nin colleague te nkafunyoma Lamin Mane murtana ne kote karkadi amali. Bi programo ni lafta akela Adama Barola nyin sila doku kuolela. Programo bebe kela wala. Abe kumolu menu foka nyin lokun kono. Ani nyin lokun tambila. Kumakumalu menga efo. Manke ko kumakumal ti bara efo kumol men ya lonko mosafo ko isa kiskisi ya foko ay nyimmen foten o manke o aketal mbe ole fenkelale kuma dula saba nani le bije wala munti ay meetingul menu ke nyamina kata fo malikunda baroko atelebe silol lokan baroko atelebe kuran di kam molla baroko atelebe jio di kam molla baroko ateleka mol dingulu karande baroko akmenyin silolu menu aka berola nyin silolu men to teng nim mol man karte o fay o silol te dokul ako APRC wele mol fekle ko yala electionol be abe molle fake kan aka projectol men nati project fake ringul abe mol nene kan ika karte o fay well president Barrow fana benin sila foundation berla men be la banko be kan taring afana be fake projects leke kan because asita le sanji tanga be sira ka ma hosilol doku electionol da sata karu worowla ay sila doku odati anu sila doku o nyinga manke ko aba doku kana ka berole landi wala mu nyinti ko al carte o fay nyanga continue parate president Barrow kilingule ko ni bita election ola ikallahi do menta moli ka kele pour e carte o fay ni gagnete bu ko wallahi do timmandi kata le mendiate yoke president Barrow leof president Barrow ko fanan molumen ya lonko be nyindulal to nyamina because I have followed ako ning opposition oli mol kumandi ko mbe karelol nim bolol dilal opposition mol kana auto muta isate kumandi wole femfen dialla kalerol nim bolol la karola akate be o dobullal so for president Barrow molla hajo bemu kalerol nim bolol let barabe boli kensengole dilalla katu membe tabila o borol nin kalerol kono ate o dilalla sanji tanga ma dino alla ni tata marse te kamen dapans je telealo ite membe lamo e kanna atolle olom president Barrow bari president Barrow da te oto kata atela afero bete atale nka president baro jo karola karfa jola nka la kopar ndawalo nying wuli keme wuli tallul wala ka diala luolum o botaje nka feto fata nka la telefono nka credit ko sang abuka lampo jo abuka jio jo na kuranta abuka jo ate moto sanna ate sansi sanna
hani toothpaste fonka
hani fonko nyi
fonko toothpaste na fonko teleka bes
hani Colgate banko le ka sanka dial
ka fensa
so president baro kanam ngolu batandi ka foko ni opposition ko be kalerol ni bolol dilala linkuman to lafta opposition to lafta menna ka banko doku ka tamandi pour momo isi fansun kalero sang ni e fansun kalero sang kodo e tubuli be men tabilo kalero kono ya sang ya tabije ni la mol ya dom balanso e tubuli e la business oke ni sa te eta loptano to ye jara inyanta boro sotla nyama e sota nyama doctorol nyante topoto la nyame ye topoto anyam sabanjam sanji saba president baro man tiyo dalafa barate la salary kalafa national assembly la salary lafata judiciary jojol la salary lafata senior civil servants la salary lafata baratol mem ka banko la namo jo alkado ko allati adamal lafa lafta moli hakilo to president baroto because at president baro kilina teleko oppositional lafta fitno le nat la banko kan oppositional man nda fitina la banko kan Mr. President itele lafta fitino la banko kan katu itele ka mol nati ke ka try ke register men ya lon ko manyan na register oppositional ko le ko fen ning Gambia no lam loya dila ko e register andum be support la le register bari fen ya lon ko manyan na register la nte son na register ni ngalo o manke fitnati so nim fitno be kela abe bola NPP le bala president barona la NPP because itollebe molu nati kanke register ale sidin jay la kumolu moyle ale video jedulal be to tari ba katala ka mol nati ka bo banta bankol kan ka mol nati men ya lon ko gambiano lem bari iman sanji tan ni say soto iba kata kam pour ka register ntol ko wala kanake kata manke luati woni loi man sonyo o manke fitnati atemen ka mol nati ka foko diaku ya fonga ganye atelebe fitna nyine wala nani njam ako president baroko ne atara femmantu je fo atenala NPP e boy in December election ola ako saya le fisi ate woti nin saya fisi ate boyoti election oto wote te ku jaw jamale ke ni man ku jaw jamake man ku kurun jamake ka fa election ota man jare wala wallahi ntol teo fola bari niaja ko itol NPP ka boy December sayale jarte wala ye menke ya lonne andu ye menke mfanal nga lonne andu ya lonne ko nga lonne ko ye menke katu audit reportol bijel president baro kabrabina 2016 fentabul aka fantengul ladu molle kodo kaf nyoma ka feto fato sangay bi ate president baro le kalo aka foko oppositional be mintole 2016 katun tebe lola wato men na 2016 telenga banko bondi bulu jawo kon telenga demokrasi nati banko kan president baro nyina tako kabrin sojarol bina usenu la suwo kono ani musolu men vije o musolu be baluri ne hanibi kilinti je kuketa men
yes
alala no kon president baro e borla dun ta tabulo ko
akoy da taw al kana bunda ele musol wulte ta bunda date ko sojaro le ko nan lafta al dunna nal hanyita al dunna njale ya wata be tabulo ko
wata te be tabulo ko
wala ka fakki jatoti bi
so bi wala ka fo mo le kon temu jata falal men ke bori ka dun tabulo ko o masi bol o jato be mol do molal
so kewe bra dun tabulo ko to musole da kanta
musole da kanta hana be boto ko na bita akatara sandwich lem ajam se ka be sirin karadola ajam yabo be sirin karadola wala ka muta because a man hanyinu yayal so wala kana lo biya ka foko kodite bulu ntelenga demokrasi ntelenga ya bondije ntelenga demokrasi nati niaje lualu menu be tamala fo be la briefcase mutale bita o patiol formula ntelenga o beke silol mem fanam ka doku ten ntelenge doku kurango membe banko kan ntelenga kurango nati jio membe banko kan ntelenga nati so president Barrow atea miracle president ya ni banko doku banko la namu kodola wala julola itele tam aka wala fo mole ala itandi president Barrow la ko ya jambe projectol men tuje atele continent ate fanambe projectol men datikan ntolebe continent la bari mo kana song a fo ko ninga nying si berol la nyin silol kan ning nalman carte o fayni nyin silol te dokula silol be dokula ayin berol la men beto ntefe mol nyanta president Barrow nyini kala ku saballa muneatina sanji tang ayeta sanji tang pour kana nyim berola ka silo doku andun ka berola o mulla hido dronet bari bukalla hidi tamande kabringa carte o faye iko sanji saba keta sanji lulu keta sanji tante sa fele ko sanji tanni lulu kotake so kabrin carte o be fayle yela hido menta molie kabrin constitution kutola kata ku kotam le yala hido bele tinya munati na mol nyanta la na kale ko benyin silo do kula atata jela dron biko election order sita karworo aka APRC ka fake project o me ka fanambe fake project lela alon president Barrow abe menke ka fo wole molbe wole keka hani ni si faram fansindo president Barrow le adundi nyim bankoka para ka fo mole opposition olem aka fo mole UDP lem bar mo be aja wanyarta sain ko atella patio mu si faram fansindi patioti kata la mol kalole ka fo nyim fula mansa kundalde ika fulol tofe ke kasabe ate fanan kalo aka fala mole ko nale koku nin koku diata la lake bal support la kata la patio le be mansa kunda so president Barrow to abol ka fo me projection ate be menke kan aka mol tumi walla mbe ko mo kuntula dame president Barrow ko ayo fo malikundal ako oppositional ka te moriale pros abe silol menu berola kan wo silol kana lo ako oppositional ba amoria ka wol nte kabrin president Barrow yo fon kumare arafan Gambia nga problem bale so katu bimu 2026 let imbe damen president la ala miro manyana tala moriato ala miro manyana tala moriato sai molka memfo ikafo me artificial intelligence londo le me alonko akatara dulal totari ka kiskisle ite lafta memmenke ake dolbe mol sambala karoto banku dolbe roketol dada kan pour que ifan difen dolbe sirina president ka fonye ko na oppositional kata morole kandoku prusilol kanandoku ay Gambia batandi back president Barrow
ay batandi anya aduna katu momo e kamenke e kamera mobe ka waleke atera ni abe akoleti moria samira mobe ka waleke yelo tanyi ja konye ko nditara kaburotole na furewlu wuri na safol ke fo konkoto ba fo da kono lamba atende afuja mo di do da kono so momen ka oke o mon ko kula ko de kat wala mera dunya balu bi mo ne moriya rew ni mera moriya ke tera moriya ko be ni la moro le tema je ntul kamen ke bi en kamen kata nyimba ko wala ka banko samba nyaato banko be yiru wala nyaadile me dinul karandila nyaadile nga do ko yini ye nga dila numa do ko dino me nga malan ko dile ifana yembala ko do ko ke faye mbi sedo sementu yalla nyaade fo no do rol so do banko kanya do ko kana mom to jang ko rek nga to do mo jang nga do nga to wafi mbe kala nyaadile fo nga jara lo sonende mo be yimba ko kan wala mon to la meroti ka internet o sambana je ka silol fana do ko ani pongo ani salolo ani courant ani jiyolu ka wol do ko wali wala mon to la xamoti ala moriya tabe minna ay continue wala ay tol da hande ntole be min do nyamba ko kan wolen ko nte la hiritara moy mi yaron ko samanta kenola to luka moy ni place ni la dia moy min diata yaf ni sita min diata yewke to be ko fo okay son to be wolle kan wolen ndin baro fata wala tan nabiya ki yobe tiring yiko wato sita ngalo ha bari wolen ndin baro fata so baro nyanta jere lon na gambe lon nyanta jere lon andu wo bata min bela ka wala na wol ko 2026 December iba jindilla president bondo te bayila
ako wote bayila bara ko sayala fisi atay woti so butun sa jibe December be kala nya kata be boyla
yekule de biya lon ko dim ka jakka yu lakudo ibebe silari ne sila nya tambire dol ko ning UDP sile me bore la nga banko bula be wudayil dol ka sayar fisi ta nyewoti nasiri njayila bide do ya kinyana malo fo mistake wala fo nemba ako ni ko ni foro ni saya ni malola ay malole tala hani mulka fa ne saya malola foro ka saya leta ay malotu je
ba te ko
foro ni malo ka sino ba te ko hani ibe malol tala saya tuje buru ngelo man ke foro
ni wo mo sifal le be nyola
la sok mo boyn la wolto moli min be wol ko mil ka wofo mil ka ta ka siul ko sen nyola ne wolle be nyola bay ito la kuruya ntol sonna wentul kuruyande ntol mo hanke mo kurunti ntol be banko do ko wala ne ka banko diwol karanyo wala to be wala ko so la kuruya tan ntol ga kuruya ila si ka jafo tan ntol ga siul ka jafi mo be khane kabilo lo kabilo fa dama be ka kabilo nen sako tewo sako banko sako sio katu wo sio tambita gambe ko da malal mandin ko ba ke ka fika bulela mandin ko be Gambia le ibe Senegal le ibe Mali le ibe Guinée Bissau le ibe Côte d'Ivoire le etc Guinée
Conakry Burkina Faso
ibe dulal be tari so nite wol siol nen e dunya kar jama bale nen ntultul de bula no wala ala kuriya ko na ala ko lo bali ko diamul to kala nka min fana fonna moliye meta min fulaliye siko mo kana fo banko kan katum bele da banko kan ntere bambe siri njanteng lare mam mo fulol bi jele nte fulol mbita wolam so moto sonna ka siol du nyoto yan surwalu mbari ngollem jolal nsana wollem do mbari ndingolti son tolto sonna sidiya mo la banko kan am mo me sidiya ko fana be kelelale sonna modu mo kana son nyiliye kam fande fediya mo ko mo fu biya lon ko si ko wala ya lafta wala sa imaje kam fu imaje UDP lafta wala ban tolto bula lal noma to lata si ka jafon tolto kala jang nto kala jang so naliya no albel kunta yamin al continue wala nto ba fa al kuriya diya mo la be folal de ka fo sidi nja ka min fo malbel ya diya molem ka fo sidi nja ka min fo ka banko fara nyobalem ki yeka ka mo senyola be wol folale wante bulal no wala kuru ya diya mol
ka fitno men fo ito le ba ke ka
to disi ko mo fala banko kan ka ton sio wo mu kuleti ala le ndawo nyama ko fon si nyolong na do ko ke nyokan so to sonna len mo ko sendi nyole to sonna mo ko sendi nyole banko fanan kan tur ko Gambia dul karanyo bala atulati farla nyobala mbale kel la pour faro ka fo kanake mbale kel la fo ngal jindi December 5th abanko saints banko digol katan di nyola e kilengoti so wore nal fata so ma fa na mole ko ñu la kuriyade to moda si mo kamfa ay kamfa nyaawnyan kana so manke minti ye kendi wote kana so manke tribalism minti ke tribalist kana so man son si fatan panso mi nebula si fatan panso kon kana so yebula si kajafola katon to man so wala andon ka o kelele so ila kamfando kana ne kamfa fe ko fo nyana min fola isi la bolotinya
ande lafta wala
fana way la kuruyange ni la kuruyabula to kuruya kele ba ko bonde ni mara jawo ko ni ñu gata ko wala mun to lalla on kawde wala ni fata
na fenke suro account o saying
okay
but it will be a synopsis
short one sinamurna next week fa mu salode so me ben kala doñ li waxtu yu jeex na ngeen jégal ñu ci loolu waaye liñ doon wax ak njubla ñi fi nekk li ñoo def ci réew mi moo tax mënuñ koo gàttal waaye nañ ko bamtuwaat ci wolof tuuti waaye dinañ ñëwaat bu julli gi passé because next week moom julli la soo xëy na duñ fi nekk next week waaye bi ci toppa dinañ ñëwaat incha allah pour mun a waxtaan gën a waxtaan dañ dellu siwaat ci yéen yi li ñoo wax tey liñ bugg a waxtaanee mooy Barrow dafa dem di nemmeeku réew mi ne fi mu samp ay yoon fa la dem di naan ne yoon yi man maa ko samp opposition bi suma yoon la ñuy daw suma ndox la ñuy naan suma kuréel la ñuy taal seen néegi waaye Barrow xamut ne moom mu xaalis bi ñu ko sampee war bi mu doon ñëw nguur gi amutoon dara néew doole la woon mu ñëw ci réew mi ñu taba ko jegar ko jox ko place yi ngéneel waaye moomeel bi bu doomi réew mi la du moom bosam de xaalis jógewu Barrow Kunda Gambia Kunda la jógee Gambia ñoo ko moom li ci des dañ ko leb wala ñu meññu ko pour ñu liggéeyee ko du moom la caage du xaalisam xaalis yi réew mi la aw la lu ñu leb moomut yoon yi moomut courant bi moomut ndox mi suñ xaalis lañ jël jébal ko ne ko liggéeyal ñu loolu lañ la sant loolu dañ la jël liggéey jox la xaalis bu nga liggéeyee ko bul toog ba di beew su nekk waa ji dafa beew léegi moo tax mu naan ñu maa ko moom maa defar li loolu lañ doon dégg ci jaame fii réew mi maa ko moom li ma fi neex la ñoo def moom tam beew na léegi de mu ne moom xaalis bi moom moo samp yoon yi moom moo samp factory si fii moo samp mu ñu jox ndox mu jox courant du yow waaja du yow waaja Gambien si la soo li laa wax mooy tànnuñ la pour nga ñëw toog fii di bàkku fii ngóor si xamoon nañ la fii nga nekkoon gis nañ la yi nga daan sol gis nañ ko li nga daan waxee dégg nañ ko man Ousseynou Daaw mooy suma papa moo tax ma ñëw fii di def lii man mun ngaa tëj Ousseynou mun doo tëj xalaatam mun doo tëj xam-xamam sa këri baay sa baay dee mënoo ci dara waaye bu këram tasee yow doom ju bon nga doom gu tekkiwuloo loolu daan wax fii léegi déggoon nañ ko fi coleen bi sax mun cee am lu baax ñoom aji yaam Seck aji yaamu ndaw yaabo ak ndeysaan suñ yaay yu baax yi dem yal na ko yàlla yërëm te yéexee ñu aji sukkay naka ñu ne ko doon wutal de moo sol ñoo ko daan jëndal di ko jox pour mu sol ne ko ni nga mel du noonu nag koo xam ne yaa ngi war a jiitee réew da nga war a colin boo xam ne dafa war a uteeg lii ñun ñoo ko daan solal utal ko yeneen Gambien si ko dimbale pour ñu ko jëndal yëri mu mun a sol pour mun a jekk tuuti xam nañ leen waa ji xamoon nañ ne amoo woon dara Gambien si la baaxee buñ la baaxee nag nga gërëm leen doo leen jukkal doo fi nekk nag di leen ŋaaña di leen xas loolu béewu la te kenn warut a béew nag liñ daa wax li nga toog fii ne Gambien si dañ lay sëriñtu pour nga may sa yoon yi war a bañ a jeex ñun taluñ loolu xam nga li ngay def da ngay def loolu la ñëpp di def. yow yaa fi toogoon nañu dama daan dem ci bàmmeel yi gas néewi jàmbur yi dugal sa gàllaaj ci seen gémmiñ wala ci seen ron boppay xaw ma maa fi doon def loolu fii.
man maa sacrifice suma doom ak xayam amul loo fi waxul dégg nañ ko yow ci loolu nga dëkk nag ñun dëkkuñ ci loolu soo bu ñu dëkkaloo fu ñu dëkkut
li ngay def ko rek loolu sa diggante yàlla la de di ko la yokk yàlla nag ñu luñ laa wax mooy dañ la sant liggéey réew instead of nga liggéey réew mi nga dugal ñu ci nguuta instead of nga liggéey réew mi nga jël suñu année yëpp di ko pasari nga ñëw ci réew mi amuloo dara toog nañu am naa 200 millions suma account foo ko jëlee yi nga xam ne liñ lay fay yow ba weer bi jeex bi at bi jeex soo defoon juróomi at yi nga defoon 2021 fanweeri million rek a mun a am da nga amee 200 millions sa account mel na ni am na téeméer ak juróom fukk ak ñaar téeméer ak juróom fukk ak ñaari millions yi dalasi yi nga xam ne xamuñ foo ko jëlee 170 millions dalasis xamuñ foo ko jëlee parce que sa xaalis bi ñu la fay yëpp ci juróomi at yi.
boo ci lekkutee dara
soo ci lekkul dara si xam nañ lekkuloo ci dara parce que ñoo la jëndal lépp. ñoo la jëndal lépp jox la moto jox la essence jox la courant jox la kër fi ngay dëkk jox la li ngay sol li ngay lekk jox la boor bu seet téeméer ak juróom fukki junne pour sa lekk rek dafa nañ la lépp.
jox la téléphone jox la crédit.
waaw jox la lépp soo sa xaalis bi soo ko mun ngaa dencee yëpp soo ko dencee yëpp juróomi at yi jeex fanweeri million rek lay toll naka nga amee nag 200 millions yow la ñu bëgg a laaj ngay ragal. ne daanu 2021 2026 dee la ko gënal ndax bu dee di nga dee de waaye di nga daanu moom di nga daanu liñ laa wax ñun mooy yow yaa ngi toog fii di prepare fitna ci réew mi ne opposition bi ñu ngi jéem a fitna ci réew mi te loolu ñun eewuñ fitna ñu dañu duñ xeex ak yow liñ laa xeexee mooy suñ carte suñ sànni carte loolu lañ laa xeexee ñun dañ bañ tuur fi deret dañ bañ xeex fii moo tax 2021 Ousseynou Dabo bu mu gën a génn bi nga sàccee élection ci 2021 yaa ngi koy fàttaliku bi nga sàccee woon élection si Ousseynou Dabo dafa génn ne bu leen génn bugguma kenn gaañu fii waxatuma la ko ñoo rey du ma dox ci dereti doomi Gambie pour dem State House ba mu génn di leen wéyal sax soo ko bëggut fitna de di ko mën leen génne leen jàmbaarloo ak ñoom dem leen jàkkaarloo ak ñoom waaye déedéet daf ne déedéet yéen su may doom ay su may sët bu ma seen deret tuuru mu tool gestu kenn mu ne ko yow am nga jabar sax kooku ne ko déedéet mu ne ko ngoog yow amuloo jabar sax xamuma la doom bugguma nga dee loolu la doon wax ñëpp soo ñun eewuñ fitna ñun dañ bañ fitna dañoo dàq fitna yow yaa sa gars yéenay dàq fitna yéen a doon toog fii Sidi Ndiaye génn na ñun dañu am ay gànnaay yu ñu jox suñu gars yi pour ñu dem xeex dara du ci dëgg waaye ñoo xam ne ragaluñu yàlla ngay toog tiim askan bi yëpp di leen wax loo xam ne óor na leen óor ya leen du ci dara du ci dëgg soo loolu ñun fa lañ uteeg yéen ñun dañ am ite yi réew mi dañ am yéene bu baax pour réew mi dañ bëgg élection ci seet ci réew mi ku daanu nga xam ne da nga daanu ku gañe nga xam ne da nga gañe fa lañ uteeg yéen soo li ngay def li ngay prepare duñ la ko bàyyee nag duñ la ci bàyyi duñ la bàyyi ngay fitna ci réew mi duñ la bàyyi ngay sàcc élection ci réew mi gis nañ li ngeen defoon sa xarit bi mbaaloo leen defoon Guinée Bissau doo leen ko fi defee parce que suñu armée bi doomi Gambie fa nekk ñoo xam ne dañ gëm réew mi dañ goree dinañ sàmm réew bi ak ñun ñëpp dañ ci bokk sàmm réew mi duñ leen bàyyi nga def coup d'état duñ leen ko bàyyee duñ leen bàyyi nga efi fitna soo liggéen ci yow demal ci élection si ñu bëcc la nga dem toog xëy na nga gàddaay dem toog ci sa mag Morocco loolu moom mun nañ la koo bàyyee mun nañ koo nangul waaye fii doo fi ee fitna de nañ ko defee noonu moo gën ci yow moo gën ci réew mi moo gën ci ñëpp ñun wax na ne ñun bañuñ la waaye dañ ne da ngaa def lu baax nga xam ne bés boo wàccee nga mën a toog ci réew mi ci jàmm ak salaam te mun nga koo def ba tey de waaye boo jaaree feneen sa coono ci rek a cee nekk parce que ñi lay puus ci loolu di la ci jàppale di la ngembal di la xalamal loolu dañu la tegal ndigg sire boo ci duggee yaa ko féetoo dañ taxaw fële ne dafa dëgër boobu waxoon nañ ko du déglu kenn loolu lañ def jàmme soo fi toogee loolu lañ laa def nag yow itam des na ci yow nag ndax di nga xalaat def li war ci yow ak réew mi ndax doo ko def waaye ñun danañ xeexal réew mi nañ la xeex soo bëggee tuur dara ci réew mi soo bëggee fitna ci réew mi loolu la ñoo wax tey di dañ ci del si nag next week parce que lii lu am solo la war nañ ko waxtaan mu set dañ ci del si lu next week sax waaye ni following week incha allah next week Tabaski la incha allah bi ci tegu bu ñëwee dañ ci waxtaanati so fi léegi boobu nag ñu leen di wax déwénati di leen ñaanal korité jàmm yedda leen yàlla sutura mais leen fan bu gudd ak wér gu yaram mais ñu fekkee élection yi 2026 mais ñu fekkee korité tabaski na ma korité tabaski next year déwénati so fi léegi boobu nag Dramé Kundanka yi ak Touré Kunda dégg naa bokk na ci nag waaye xaw ma nag la ren na ci wax dara waaye xam naa ne Dramé Kundanka yi Fati Kunda Jawara Kunda Sana Jawara bàyyil xel de ak xar bi ak ñoom Fati wan soo bàyyi leen xel ci xar yi bu mu mbokk kenn so fa la ñëw dara leen kaddu gi
ñoom ñëpp la ay
Kunda sa mbokk nañ ci tam nag waaye bàyyi leen xel
Dabo Kunda Dramé Kunda le Camara Kunda yi
ñoom nañ bàyyi xel xari tabaski bi
Tabaski baa ngee ñëw ñu ngee naan lii gisuloo am na Mbaykunda bu nekk ci studio mu ne ma suma xar mi yal nañ fekkee déwén dinañ ñëwaat ci kii parce que Barrow wax na yu bari Ñaamina boo xam ne man waa Ñaamina la dinaa ko bugg a tontu
incha allah nañ ci delsi
jërëjëf